Hey everyone, today we're taking a look at the brand new iPad Air from Apple. This now retails for $600 and you get an Apple M1 chip on this. It comes with a standard of 64 gigabytes of storage for the base model, which the iPad Pro actually comes with a standard of 128, but that starts for $800. So a $200 difference between this and the iPad Pro. And I say this is actually a really good value proposition if you're looking for an iPad. If I was right now in the market for one and didn't have my iPad Pro, I would get this over the iPad Pro. And for some reason, I'm not opening this. Why? Okay. But here it is. This is the iPad Air in blue. And look at that. Wow. That looks really, really nice. Of course, if you haven't seen the older iPad, then honestly good. I thought that color was just way too kind of sheeny looking and kind of cheap looking almost. This blue looks fantastic. Look at that. It's not as sky blue as you're seeing it reflect. If you reflect the light off of it, it does look like sky blue, but I would say it looks more in person. It looks about like that color right there, which I think is fantastic. Look at that. My goodness. Yeah, I really wanted to show off this color because this is a nice blue color, especially for the tablet. I would totally get this tablet right now if I needed an iPad. So let's go ahead and boot this up here. And let's talk about the difference. Are you missing out on anything by not getting this iPad Pro? So here, this is the latest iPad Pro that you can get, at least the 11-inch. You can see the fingerprints here on the space gray, which if I had a choice, I would not get space gray. I would totally get a fun color. You can see the color difference right there. 100% just would not get this iPad just because I also don't even like holding or having a space gray iPad. I'm not a fan of the color. I think it gets dirty very quick. But then also I'm not a fan of the silver because it's super noticeable from the front and that kind of detracts me when I'm using the screen. So I went with space gray because most of the time I'm using the iPad, I'm not looking at the back and I prefer to be focused here on the screen. All right, so let's talk a little bit again about pricing. If you want 256 gigabytes, which is the next step up after the 64 gigs, that's gonna run you $750. So $150 more to basically quadruple your storage. Not the worst thing in the world, especially because it's $900 for 256 gigs on the Pro. So kind of keep that in mind, it's worth noting. Now, of course, this is all not including the accessories you would want to get. So even if you want the Pro, can you afford to get all the accessories you want, like the Apple Pencil? So we have that here. Of course, this one works on the Mini, this new Air, and on the Pro, it's now the same Apple Pencil. And also the Magic Keyboard, if you want that, or the Keyboard Folio, or any of the other accessories, you know? It's gonna really kind of bump up the price a lot. Even if you can afford the Pro, do you want to spend that much? And I definitely would not. This is basically the exact same thing. You're missing quite a few things, but I don't think they're important. All right, so let's talk a little bit about what you're not going to get here while it activates and I set it up. Unlike the Pro here, you're not going to get a couple things on the back here where the camera is, which I never used them on the Pro and I don't think most people will. So you're not going to get an ultra wide lens. The one that you have is wide angle, but not ultra wide. You're not going to get LiDAR or flash. Then on the front, you're not going to get Face ID. So that comes in handy on this one because whenever I have it on the Magic Keyboard and I open that up, it basically just logs me in automatically without me having to do really anything. The plus side here is that you get Touch ID, and Touch ID works really great. I have that on my iPad mini here, which recently I've been basically using more than my iPad Pro. And it works perfectly fine. It works really well. I really like it on the iPad mini because it's such a handheld device. Like my finger basically always goes on there. I'm not sure how it's gonna affect it here. I don't think it's a big issue. You're just gonna have to reach over and put your finger on this side. Not a big problem. Or just click that button and automatically unlock and wake up from sleep with both things. So as you can see, very easy, works really, really well. Did I just add another finger? No, there we go. 000. Use anyway. Now, one other thing that might be important to some people, usually slightly more pro people out there or creatives, is that this doesn't have Thunderbolt or USB 4. It instead has USB 3.1 generation 2. So you're not gonna get all the capabilities, the speed or anything of Thunderbolt, which in my opinion, does not matter at all. Even if you're transferring things from drives and everything, it's still plenty fast. It's even faster than the previous gen iPad Air. So really not a big deal. You can get this tablet in 5G, but unlike the iPad Pro, that one has 5G millimeter wave, Now, interestingly enough, there is a slight screen difference between this iPad and the iPad Pro, but it's very slight. Like this one's a little bit smaller and it has slightly larger bezels, tiniest bit. Let me compare them side by side. I mean, can you tell? I don't think so. It's so slight. They're basically the exact same size. One interesting thing is that the display brightness on the iPad Air is going to go up to 500 nits, while the iPad Pro is going to go up to 600 nits, but that's not a huge difference. If you're using it outside in sunlight, both of these are going to suck equally as well. The iPad Pro XDR 12.9 inch, so the bigger one of this one, does have that XDR display, which can go up to 1500 nits, but that's really only when you're doing HDR. Now, if you care about storage, the iPad Air can only go up to 256 gigabytes of storage, so that's the max you can get on this, while the iPad Pro, you can actually get 2 terabytes. And if you do opt for those larger kind of space ones, you actually get twice the amount of RAM. So you get 16 gigs of RAM on these Pro models, which is pretty good. I can never imagine topping out this tablet and using it so much that I would need 16 gigs of RAM. So this one has 8 gigs of RAM right here on the Pro. The Air also has 8 gigs of RAM, and that is plenty, especially with the M1 chip, which is already basically overkill, especially for the Air, but really on these tablets, it's truly overkill. Like, we have something in here that is far more powerful than what this software can even really do or bog down the chip. Now, the rest of these tablets is basically the exact same thing. Like, we have the new Centerstage feature, which basically when you're on FaceTime or whatever and you move around, it's gonna follow you around. We have, again, the M1 chip with the same exact specs on both. We do get the Touch ID on this, which might be actually a pro for some people, right? That's actually, some people prefer Touch ID, which is good. So you get to choose between, do you want Touch ID or do you want Face ID? I actually really do like the Touch ID. I want to add this little part to this video because I finished the whole rest of the video without showing you what else was in the box, in case you actually wanted to know what else is in the box. And you are going to just get your power adapter, which has the ability to fast charge even your iPhone, so that's nice to have here, and USB-C to USB-C, because the tablet charges with USB-C, not Lightning anymore, and that's good. And iPad Air documents here, and an Apple sticker. Wish it was colored. It is just a white Apple sticker. So that's all you're gonna get in the box. And yeah, let's continue with the video. And again, all the accessories are gonna work from the Pro on the Air, so if you find any used or anything like that, you're gonna be able to use them on here. An example here, of course, is the Magic Keyboard. So let me grab it real quick, and it's just gonna go on the exact same way. So we put it on right there, and we close it, and I just have a sticker on here, but you can kind of see there. Of course, it's not gonna be the exact same camera that we have here for the Pro, but the cutout's just gonna be a little bit bigger, but it's kind of cool. You get to see the color, and the camera is right there. Apple Pencil's right there. And you can see here, the side of that blue color looks just absolutely stunning. From the front, the blue doesn't shine a ton like the silver, so it's less annoying, and I would totally have this. It looks super, super nice on here. And you can see everything just works perfectly. All the features on the Pro are gonna be here. Honestly, you should not get the iPad Pro unless there's a specific feature on that list that I mentioned. Aside from that, then get the iPad Air and choose your favorite color and just enjoy it, because I would totally choose to save that money. And also would love a cool new color, and all the colors that came out look fantastic. So there you go. That's the iPad Air and the iPad Pro. Very straightforward of a choice, really. I don't think there's much to kind of debate on here. Just get this tablet. It's fantastic. I've been using the iPad Pro for so long now, and I just can't imagine not having one. It's a fantastic device. It can totally replace your laptop depending on what you need. And it works so well for watching movies, playing games. Like, it's just an all-in-one device that I just really, really like. Of course, these accessories are really expensive, but they also do work quite well. Magic Keyboard, I've had some beef with in the past, and I definitely think it's overpriced for what it is. If you can find this on a discount, that'd be better. You can, of course, always use any other external keyboard, trackpad, mouse, what have you, if you prefer to go a slightly less expensive route. And the Apple Pencil, definitely get this thing. It is the best thing you can get out there. I love this pencil. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you for watching. Hopefully it kind of helped you out. You got to see some of this blue color. I didn't get all the colors for this because just these iPads are so hard to handle. I couldn't imagine just doing color review on all these, but this is probably going to be my favorite color of the bunch. The Starlight, of course, I'm a huge fan of Starlight, and that came to the iPad. I highly recommend that color. It's fantastic. There you go. The new iPad Air with the M1 chip. Awesome little device, and for the price, I truly do believe you're getting an awesome thing. The only thing is that you are getting only 64 gigabytes of storage, which kind of sucks. You are going to need iCloud and have a subscription to that to make sure that you have things backed up and everything. Personally, I would not be able to buy a 64 gigabyte. I would have to go for the 256 for $750. If you have the education discount, you can save some money on there. And also, honestly, last year's iPad Air was still a great choice. They're going to be discounted by a few hundred, maybe $100, $150. And if that happens, that's still a great device to buy. It's still plenty powerful, really great. And you'd save some money and you can get some of these more expensive accessories if you so need them. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye.